Welcome into Deb's Kitchen. Today we are cooking up a simple dessert called Pumpkin Delight, and you cut them into bars, and it's an easy holiday dessert. So the first thing we're going to do is add our flour. We're making comes in 4 layers. So the flour layer is 1.5 cups of flour, white all-purpose flour, no self-rising. 3/4 sticks of butter. This is a half a stick, but I need another fourth. I already portioned it off here. And then the butter has to be softened. And to this, we are going to add about ½ a cup of pecans. Now I chopped mine because they were kind of bigger pieces, and I want the crust to have smaller pieces. So I just got my mallet and I put it in a little storage bag. And now we're going to add it in. And all we do is mix this up and make sure your bowl's big enough so everything does not fly around. Okay, I beat this about, I would say, 4 minutes. You want it to be kind of the butter totally incorporated. Your dough should be moist like that you can press it together. So you have to beat it until you get, I guess the butter looks like little beads about that size. That way you know you can press it into your crust easy. So this is ready. And just if your butter gets stuck to your waist, you can either take it out and pound it here, or you can lift it up a little and just make sure that it doesn't fly around, but it'll fly around and scatter in your bowl, and then you can keep mixing. Now we're going to put some pan release or any kind of spray you have on the bottom. And then we're simply going to put all this in here. We're going to press it along the bottom, and then we're going to bake it off at 350 for 15 minutes only. And then we're going to take it out and let it cool. And this is our pecan shortbread crust. It's going to be delicious. And so we're going to put this in the oven right now, and we'll get started on our second layer. So my oven's preheated to 350. I'm going to put it in the center rack, and I'm going to leave it for 15 minutes, and we'll start on our second layer. Okay, while our topping, our crust is baking, we're going to make our second layer. It's very simple. 1 stick of cream cheese, and it has to be softened, not cold. And we're going to put it in our, you can beat it with your mixer, if you have a stand mixer, or you can use the rotary, the hand one. Kind of getting it softened and mixed in there a little before I add the sugar. Then we add a cup of confectioner's powdered sugar. And start off low because that's going to spread all over the place. You might want to push down your sides because this powdered sugar will fly around. Then put it down and keep mixing it. Then we're going to get some whipped topping, 1 cup. And we're going to add it to our cheese mixture. Let me push it down again from the sides of the bowl. Make sure you do that frequently so everything will be well incorporated. Dump in your whipped topping. Then we're going to mix this up until it's nice and smooth and creamy. Okay, make sure that you get the bottom, because sometimes on the bottom of your bowl the cream cheese clumps, and then when you get ready to spread it you have a big blob of cream cheese. So this is how it should be, this smooth consistency. And we're ready to go for this second layer when our crust comes out. Okay, we finished our second layer, and it's just going to sit there waiting until we need it. And now we're going to make our pudding layer, the Delight, Pumpkin Delight. We're going to add 3.5 ounce packages of instant, not cooking pudding. And you're not going to prepare it, you're going to put it in the bowl dry. Just empty it. I have vanilla. You can also use white cheesecake would be nice if you can find it. Sometimes it's hard to find, especially in the holidays. And then we're gonna add in 2 cups of milk. This is whole milk. I added a teaspoon of vanilla to this milk. We're going to put that in here. We're going to add our can of pumpkin puree, and this is a 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree, pure pumpkin puree. You don't need to get the pumpkin filling, just plain pumpkin puree. And we add that in. So far, so good, right? And don't forget, like and subscribe, hit the notifications, share, and make comments so we can know what else you want to see for these holiday recipes that we're cooking up in the kitchen. And then we're going to add our cup of whipped cream. So let's get that in there. And our pumpkin spice. We need 1 teaspoon. So let's throw that in here. And then we're going to mix this up until it's smooth. And our 3rd layer is ready to go. Okay, now this 3rd layer is ready, and you just want it to be this nice, fluffy, smooth consistency. So all that's left is to take our pie crust shortbread out, let it cool to room temperature. We're going to spread on the cheesecake layer, we're going to spread on the pumpkin layer, and then we're going to top it with some whipped cream and pecans and put it in the refrigerator to chill at least 3 hours. Okay, I have my crust out, I put it to cool. You want to get it so it's cool enough to spread, and you can lift up the pan, it's not hot. And then we're going to put on our 2nd layer, which is the cream cheese layer. I'm just going to spread it all over. Okay, sometimes it's kind of hard to spread a topping on when it's sticky. So what I usually do is I dollop it, like instead of just putting it and spreading, I just get my spatula and I dollop it all over where I'm going to be spreading it. And then this spatula is kind of bulky, so I get a small, either a butter knife or offset spatula, and kind of just baby it. Don't force it, just smoothly, patient, and it will eventually all come together. So if you're having trouble spreading your topping and you're going crazy and saying, oh my God, this is not working, just do what I'm doing here, because the top part was kind of giving me a little hassle sticking to the crust. So I basically dolloped the rest of it, and then you can always smooth it. Okay, so we're done with that 2nd layer, and like I said, make sure your crust is completely cool, and then it will be much easier. And I'm going to do the same thing with the pumpkin. I do this because it's easier to spread if you put it evenly over your casserole or whatever you're making, and it'll make it smooth, easier to smooth it out than trying to just do it starting at the top and going on. So just put it all over, and then we'll start smoothing it out. Okay, make sure you get every last smidgen out, because this smells amazing and it is already ready to eat. You can eat it now, and I tasted it and it is delicious and pumpkiny, but it has kind of like a mousse. It's not like a thick pumpkin pie, it is a mousse, and it's like so decadent. Trust me. You take this to your holiday potluck, family gathering, you're going to be a big popular hit. And make sure it's smooth. Take your time, don't rush it. It's evenly spread. And now the last step is to lick the pan. No. The last step is your whipped topping. And we're using whipped topping, and we use a cup of this to put over the top. But I decided I wanted to make my own whipped topping, but this is just me. You perfectly can just add Cool Whip. But to make whipped topping, which I already made in advance, All you do is buy the heavy whipping cream, pour it in a bowl, put a couple of teaspoons of confectioner sugar, and beat it with a whisk until it comes stiff peaks. And try to use, if you're going to do your own, use a cold bowl, and your beaters should be cold. And that will make your whipped cream successful. So we're just going to put this on top now. Okay, so we're going to just smooth this all over, and then we're going to sprinkle it with pecans. You don't have to sprinkle it with pecans if you don't want, but it looks pretty and festive to me. Or you don't even have to put on the whipped cream. You can just eat it like it is a pumpkin mousse. Or you could use this. You can just forget this layer, and when you get ready to serve it, I'm just going to put some to show you. You can make it pretty fancy by like making all kinds of designs. You can do this at the last minute, and if you do this, it would be even more impressive. You could also use your offset spatula, just a little baking tool, or a butter knife to make little decorations like whorls to make it pretty and more appealing to the eye. And then we're going to take our pecans, and I told you that I had chopped up the pecans because these are pecan bits, and I didn't want big bits in my crust, so I put in the Ziploc bag and pounded it for the crust. But for the top, I want bigger pieces, so we're going to put this on top. Just sprinkle it all over, many as you like. This is a total of a cup between the crust, half on the crust and half on the top. If you like, you can also get your pumpkin spice, put a little bit in your hand maybe, and kind of just pinch it like a slight little decoration, and they give off that pumpkin smell. So there you have it, folks. Take this side dish to your potluck, to your office party. It's easy to make. You can definitely do this overnight. Actually, it'd be better. Chill it overnight, so the next day you're just ready to go. So have happy holidays. Don't forget to like and subscribe. The recipe's in the description. Give me some comments, feedback, and I thank you for your support. We're getting a lot of views, so we hope to put out more holiday recipes in the next few days.